What's up everyone, welcome to the first ever quick Byte video. In this video we're going to be showing you how to do dog tag engraving using a CNC mill. The tools you're going to need for this project are a digital caliper, a wrench, some needle nose pliers, a metal engraving bit, a spatula, an anodized dog tag, and some double-sided tape. To make your design for your dog tag, you can pull an image from online, type in text, or draw your own design using a sheet of paper and a Sharpie. But before we talk about how to create your design, we have to talk about vector versus raster images. Raster images are images that are made up of small blocks called pixels. Vector images are made up of solid colors defined by curves and lines. Raster images enable you to do shades and other detailed photos, while vector images are editable and can be used for digital printing and fabrication like the CNC mill. Luckily, raster images can be traced and made into vector images. Most of the images you find online are raster images. To find ones that are easy to trace, there are a few keywords you can search for. The first one we'll search for is black and white logos. Another one we can look at is stencil. So images that are easy to trace have high contrast. High contrast means that the colors are very different from each other. That's why black and white works so well. The last one we're going to look at is silhouettes. So you can scroll through, find an image you like this one here, click it, then right click, hit save as, pick a file name you want, and then hit save. The software we're going to be using to trace our raster image is called Inkscape. After you open up Inkscape, you're going to go to File, Open. You're going to open up a file called dogtagtemplate.svg. If you don't have access to this file, there's a link to one in the description. This defines our workspace so we know how big or small to make our design. After that, we can import the picture that we saved earlier. So you go to File, Import, and then locate the file that we saved. If you can't find it, sometimes you can check quick access and it'll be under recent files. So click it, hit open, then select OK. Now we can resize our image so that it fits within our workspace. So you can pull down on the arrow key. You can hold shift to make sure that it scales the picture evenly. We can zoom in using the plus or minus keys. And if you wish to add text, you can click the A icon on the left-hand toolbar and just type stuff in, but we're not going to worry about that for this demo. Next, we're going to trace our image. So go to the cursor icon on the left-hand toolbar, click the image, then go up to Path on the top toolbar, select Trace Bitmap. Bitmap is another name for raster image. So as you can see, we have a couple different options here. We're going to go with the one that's already selected, brightness cutoff, select OK, and then we're going to close that out. Now we have two images, our raster image and our vector image. So we're going to delete the original image and then place our vector image back onto our workspace. Now we have to turn our image into a path that our engraving bit will follow when we use the CNC mill. So you go to Path on the top toolbar, select Object to Path. Now if we want to align this image further, we can select All, go to Object, Align and Distribute, and then select the icons with the lines in the center of the boxes on the right-hand side. And now we're finished with our design. We can go to File, Save As, type in whatever file name you want, and hit Save. And now we can start engraving. Before we start using our CNC mill, we first have to measure the dimensions of our dog tag using the digital caliper. So we're going to measure the length, the width, and the thickness. Make sure to write these measurements down as we're going to be using them later. Next, we're going to attach some double-sided tape to the back side of our dog tag to make sure that the dog tag is secure and doesn't move around when it's engraving. Next, we're going to open up our CNC software called Bantam Tools. You're going to change the material to generic and then type in the dimensions that you found earlier under the size menu. So we got a width of 50 millimeters, a height of 28.87 millimeters, and a thickness of 1.3 millimeters. After that, we can now load our dog tag by hitting the loading button. So the bed will move closer to you, and then you can start to place your dog tag on the bed. So make sure to place it as close to the lower left-hand corner as possible. Press down to make sure that your dog tag is secure. Now we can open our design file. Again, we're going to go to Quick Access and select the file that we saved from Inkscape. You should be able to see your design inside the box that we defined earlier. Now we can click Cutout to deselect it, set our engraving depth to 0.08 millimeters, change our milling tools to metal engraving bit 80 degrees. Lastly, we can remove the last flat end mill. If the metal engraving bit isn't already loaded in the CNC, we can go to the top and select change. Make sure you have your metal engraving bit ready. You can click continue. Next, we're going to insert our metal engraving bit inside the spindle. We're going to turn the metal bolt-like object called a collet with our hands until our metal engraving bit fits sturdy. Next, we're going to use our wrench and our pliers to tighten the collet further to ensure that our bit doesn't move or fall out during the engraving. Next, click the locate tool button. This is going to help the CNC detect exactly where the engraving bit is and how far it extends from the collet. Lastly, select mill all visible, click OK, and your CNC mill should start engraving. You should now see it etch in the design that you created in Inkscape. Be sure to keep an eye on this as it's engraving. Things you should look out for are the dog tag moving around, the engraving bit becoming loose or breaking, or anytime that it mills anywhere it shouldn't. There's a red emergency brake button on the right hand side. Be sure to press that if anything goes wrong. Once it finishes, you can remove the window, grab the spatula, pull the dog tag up. There will be some debris, so you can use the double-sided tape to clean it off. And congratulations, you just created your own customized dog tag.